Hey guys, welcome back to the Her Mind Matters podcast. I'm Daphna Benamu.
And I'm Ella Rosenblum, and today's topic is how to find yourself as a young woman without losing yourself.
Today we have a very exciting podcast because we're going to be interviewing a special guest,
Dr. Noam Weinberg. For those of you who don't know him, he's a doctor, a teacher, an amazing guy who speaks very well, and he is opening up a seminary, so we're going to be talking a lot about that later, and it's going to be very applicable to today's topic.
Today we're going to break down the topic into 3 different main points. The first one is what life as a young girl really feels like. The second one is the experiences that sometimes shape you and shake you. And the third one is what finding yourself really means.
What does life look like as a young woman? So, being a young woman in this generation is very overwhelming. There's a lot of people telling you who to be, how to look, what to chase, how fast you should have everything figured out in life, which causes like an explosion in our brains, and then we start to compare ourselves, like we should look like that girl does on the internet, or like I want to be independent like this girl, I want to have the confidence like this girl. But when you, just like the saying goes, like comparison is
the thief of joy. Oh my
exactly.
God. Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy. It seriously is. It takes away your happiness, it takes away your confidence, it takes away your independence, everything that you want from that person that you saw, you're not gonna have it. You could look up to someone 100%. I think it's very good to have role models in life that you look up to them, but don't compare yourself to them. Rather, find yourself, which we're gonna teach you how to.
Our second main point is experiences that shape you and sometimes shake you. So for this, we want to talk about, for example, friendships. They can shape you in any way, but also the ending of a friendship or a relationship can also shape you or shake you. So what that really means is maybe the friendship isn't really what shaped you, but ending it, if it's not good for you, if you don't feel that it's right for you, is really what shaped you into who you are, and it's really like what defines your growth and the person that you're becoming. Forms through trial and error. You don't discover who you are by thinking, you discover it by living. And you might ask, how do I know that I need to end a friendship? Well, for example, if you feel like you're saying no if you feel like you're saying yes when you know that you should be saying no, sometimes honestly, like, you feel like you have to say yes.
You're devoted to your friendship, like, more than
just
you are.
Because you're friends doesn't mean that you owe them anything.
Right.
And you have to put yourself first always. So yeah, that's number 1. And I think that you should always just put boundaries in your friendships, at any friendship, any relationship, whatever it is. Just always put a boundary
just
that
to
you won't
protect
cross.
yourself.
Whatever your values are, don't cross them because you're friends or because whatever it is. Just put yourself first. When you put what you don't tolerate out there from the very beginning. So
yeah.
Exactly. So whatever you're not going to tolerate, I think that if that person really values you as a friend, then they're not going to cross that line.
What's like a few examples or like a scenario you would explain?
For example, this might be controversial, but I feel like when someone puts their wants before your life, which is like, okay, for example, when someone is driving like a crazy person, I don't know, I feel like, honestly, I don't think that anybody should be friends like that. Like, honestly, for me, that's a red flag. I think that's a red flag.
You wouldn't be friends with someone if they drove crazy?
When you're in the car, I'm saying. Because, like, why are you putting
other people at risk?
Because you want to look cool, or you want to whatever it is, you know what I mean? I don't know, I feel like that's such a red flag, and that just means that they would do so much more. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Wow. What Daphna said about values. By having these values and boundaries in your relationships with anyone, it really protects you as a person, because you can't go about life without having these values, because you won't be confident. And we'll get more into that with Dr. Noam Weinberg.
Also, who are you as a person if you don't have values and if you don't have
morals?
Exactly.
Morality. You can't live life without morality.
Because really, who are you? You're just following everyone else, or being a follower. You have to be a leader.
Definitely, this point is more about when you look at your growth and you think back to yourself to a situation where you're like, oh, I don't think I respected myself back then. That's not failure. That doesn't mean that you did something wrong in the past. That's reflection, and that will help you grow.
The first step is also realizing. So understanding that what you see is wrong is the first step before even like doing anything about it.
Right. Our last point is what finding yourself is really like. And a lot of people get this wrong. They think that finding yourself is just a realization, like it just hits you. You're a new person or the healed, better version of yourself. That's not at all what finding yourself is. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about finding actually who you are before the world told you who you were. So this could be asking questions to yourself. How do I feel in this moment? Or being uncomfortable in situations, going out of your comfort zone. Those are ways that you could find yourself.
And it's leading by example.
How come?
I think being a leader, just knowing what's right from wrong and really like going.
So, moral of the story for those young women out there who feel like they want to grow, but they're in a situation that might feel like they're trapping them and they're like scared to come out of their shell, I would say to look at yourself. Look at who you are. Find what you love. Find what you don't like. Find your values and stick to those values. If a situation comes up and you're like, oh, should I just disrespect this person or not? You take your values, you apply to your situation, and you'll be like a leader on top, and you'll find your way. It's harder to lose yourself in the process of growth if your mentality to grow is much greater than your mentality to like subdue to any external factors. Who do want to grow and are even in their growth process right now, I want you to realize that you're doing this for you and you have to stick to your growth process and stay disciplined, stay to yourself, stay true to yourself, and don't make excuses because those can hinder your growth process.
Yeah. I want to say also that you're allowed to grow and stay true to who you are, and you're allowed to also disagree. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to know right from wrong. You know, the other day actually something happened that my friends were saying something really disgusting, and like not about me, I'm saying like just around about other people, and you know what, like I stood up to them and I felt better, and honestly I think I taught them something at the same time.
Good.
Because
Yeah.
you're not just helping yourself, you're helping other people. Review Dr. Weinberg and ask him about what he thinks about all of this, so please enjoy.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rabbi Dr. Noam Weinberg.
And tell us about your life experience, what you did, like all your careers that you did, and
I don't know if we have enough time, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. When I decided, I had a little bit of a life before I decided to go into Jewish education. But once I decided that I wanted to go into Jewish education, that's what I did. I was a Rebbe in Frisch for a number of years. I was a Rebbe in MTA for a year, in Petach for a year, which is amazing. I was a Rebbe in Mayanot for a year. I was a Rebbe in Moriah. And then I became the assistant principal of Hal in Long Beach, New York, for 4 years. And I became the associate principal of the Moriah School in Englewood for 4 years, in charge of the entire middle school. We had hundreds of kids. And then I became the principal of North Shore Hebrew Academy High School, where I was for 13 years,
Wow.
13 very successful years, thank God. During that time, I went back to school on top of the other degrees that I had, and I became a life coach. Then I got another master's in marriage and family therapy. And I started a small private practice of relationship coaching where I worked with people cradle to grave, young people who were navigating the dating process or struggling with it, parents and children who were having issues talking, young marrieds who needed to learn skills to become proficient in marriage, and marriage takes a lot of hard work. And then people who are married and people who needed help with that. That's kind of been like my trajectory of where I am of where I've been over the past 30 some odd years.
So with all those careers, why did you choose to make a seminary for all these girls?
That's a great question. So the reason why I decided to start Midrashat Ora was really the impetus was the fact that last year there were quite a number of girls that did not get into seminary due to space.
Right.
This year there are over 200 girls that 200 more girls in North American yeshiva high schools. So if there wasn't space last year, there's for sure not going to be space this year,
Right.
and nobody else is opening up a seminary.
Yeah.
And look, I have I have a wife, Baruch Hashem. I have two sisters. I have a daughter-in-law, an amazing daughter-in-law. I have three amazing daughters. I have three amazing granddaughters. I'm very sensitive to these things. And it people always say, like, who are you to talk about like the difficulties that young women go through? Well, I mean, I'm not a young woman, so like I can't speak from a female vantage point, but I could speak from the vantage point of somebody who listens to parents cry
Right.
and listens to young girls cry who are struggling. And it's so hard. It's so hard. It's hard to be a young woman. It's hard to be a young woman in the Jewish community, in the Orthodox Jewish community. And so you have girls who are going through high school in Orthodox yeshiva high schools around the country, around the continent, Canada also, and they're navigating social reshuffling and they're navigating physical pieces, hormonal pieces. They're navigating emotional and they're navigating academic and they're navigating all of these things. And then we push them all to go to seminary. And then we say, yeah, but there's not enough room for you.
Right.
What are we doing?
Yeah. No, it's crazy. There's
It's
so many girls.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that's really been the impetus for me to open up Midrashat Ora. Now, opening it up doesn't just mean that I open it up and then I become a receptacle, meaning it needs to work within my educational vision, and it has to be something which is emotionally healthy, not therapeutic, by the way, but emotionally healthy.
Right.
And being able to see each person as a person and understand the fact that there's a context and contextual realities for why people behave the way that they do, and respect that and respect the individual growth of young people.
I feel like
That's
that's
super
so
important.
important because
So
many
important.
girls go to seminaries and they're not catering to each girl or a lot of girls,
Correct.
we're all going, we're only 18 years old, we never lived alone before, and we're just going to a school. We don't know.
It's scary.
So
Yeah.
scary.
And I feel
It's
like a lot of
scary.
girls lose themselves during the process and like they're around all these girls that are trying to be different and they don't know who to be. So what do you think about that?
Well, you're hitting on something which is very important, and that is the fact that it is easier to become become part of the herd, so to speak, because it's safer, as opposed to I'm on my own, and also I have to work on creating my own sense of self. And I'm also trying to create my own identity. And on top of that, I have to be by myself. It's very, very difficult. It's easier to join together with other individuals. And that really detracts from people's ability to to really grow in a healthy way. And that's why I would say that, part of um, part of the process must be to stay in conversation with yourself, right? Whether that means journaling or just general reflecting, but asking yourself questions like, what am I feeling? Like,
Exactly.
what feels true for me,
Yeah.
right?
And
Where am I growing? How am I conforming, right? If you stop checking in with yourself, then what happens is that we confuse silence with being spiritual or thinking that we've found ourselves. But it's just the opposite. As long as we're continuing the conversation, we're asking ourselves those questions, then we continue to grow. But the second we stop and there's silence, it may feel good in the short run, but it actually stunts growth.
So how do you know that you've found yourself? Like, what does that mean?
Well, I'm not sure if anybody's ever really found themselves. I like to think that it's a journey, and I think that in my worldview, seeing yourself as being on a journey is actually the healthiest way of going about it, and the healthiest way of seeing oneself. Meaning it's not just like, oh, I found myself, now I'm like in a good space. No, meaning I may have clarity as to who I am and where I want to be and the direction that I want to grow in, but I really believe very firmly that there's got to be a certain growth set mentality where I'm focused on growing, that I never stop growing. I'll give you an example of what I mean. So, on top of everything else that I do, I'm getting certified now as a tour guide for Poland. I'm a big Poland guy. I'm a big Poland guy.
Been there before?
Um, yeah, I go at least once a year. Um, and I take group, meaning I take adults, and I took North Shore, I took Mag and David, and I take like lots of different groups. I believe it's like a really important thing. It's actually one of the things I'm very excited about in Midrashat Ora to bring everybody to Poland. It's
Yeah.
it's gonna be
You take everyone
amazing.
to Poland?
What?
You take everyone to Poland?
I mean, that's the game plan.
He's
Wow,
gonna be the
that's
tour
crazy.
guide.
That's
I'm gonna be the tour guide.
So
I'm
cool.
gonna be the guy. But anyway, why am I telling you this? Because look, I was brought up with the Holocaust. My dad's a survivor. My grandparents are survivors. Like I I I read about it all the time. I listened to it all the time. I thought I knew everything. As this course has gone on, I realized I don't know everything. That mindset of, okay, I know what I need to know, and I'm like, good, is stunting. It precludes growth. But I was talking to one of the heads of the program that I'm on, and I said, I I thought I knew it all, and I realized I so didn't. And in a very real way, it was so it was exciting for me because it allowed me to know that, you know what, your growth never ends.
Yeah.
Right.
And that felt good. It felt good to be honest about that. And it really just opened up my mind to like the way that I was thinking about things. And in general, like growth really needs to continue.
Yeah.
Journeys need to continue.
So
Yeah.
self-reflection is a form of growth.
Yeah, 100%.
Realize you're not
100%. As you continue, yeah. As
right.
you continue to ask the questions, right? But again, a healthy seminary environment is going to allow curiosity without shame,
Right.
Mhm.
right? Questions don't weaken emuna, they personalize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something which is important also to take into account.
Um, a big part of our podcast is confidence and women empowerment.
Mhm.
So I was wondering, how did you like start a seminary? Like what, obviously we know why you did it, but how do you have the confidence to do it?
Because I'm letting Hashem drive, and I'm in the passenger seat.
Wow.
That's how I have the confidence. When you partner with somebody that you know never loses, you can be confident. Hashem never loses. And I'm doing this for him. I'm doing this for his people. I'm doing this for a community that I love. I'm doing this because I believe that every young person, every young woman in this case, deserves an opportunity for self-development and growth in Israel.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
so important and very inspirational. We have to follow God
Thank you.
to be confident.
Don't follow God. We feel that missing in our lives. It
Right.
took it took me a long time to get to that place, by the way.
Yeah.
Of course. That's part of my journey.
Yeah.
Of course. You do things and you're popular and you think that, and people like you, and you're successful, and you think like, yeah, it's because of me, right?
Yeah.
kochi v'otzem yadi. It's because of my own power that I'm able to achieve it. And at a certain point, you kind of like take a step back and you're like, honestly,
It's from
Hashem
Hashem.
gave me that.
Yeah.
Hashem runs the world. I'm 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 a messenger of God. He gave me talents so that I could do certain things, but ultimately he's running the show and I submit myself to him and to his will.
Yes. Wow.
And that's also part of having a meaningful relationship with God. Being able to trust that. Like a child trust, I I think it's amazing when I look at my little baby grandchildren. I have four grandchildren and one on the way.
Oh,
Two two I have but one of my granddaughters she's already over three, and then I have a little grandson. But my two baby granddaughters are 4 weeks apart.
Oh,
They're
wow.
delicious. All my grandchildren are perfect and they're gorgeous and perfect and delicious. These two little babies are so cute. They're like smushy and delish and like I love them. I love them. I can't get enough of them. But you want to know something that's so amazing? The two of them, when their parents hold them, when my daughters and my son-in-laws hold them, they both have this thing. And maybe every kid does it. Maybe all my children did it. Maybe it's always happening, but I don't remember. It didn't register. I watch them like with one hand they put on either one of my daughter's chests, like over here, or their father like this, and with the other hand they like grip their arm. They hold their arm, and to me, it's like imagine the trust that a 4 month old, a 5 month old has in their parents, that they know it doesn't even register. They don't even intellectually understand it, but they believe that that their parent is going to take care of them and give them everything. And it's such a responsibility for the parent,
right.
right? We're no different with God. We hold on to God and we believe Hashem is going to give us everything that we need. Anyway, that's where I derive my confidence from.
Thank you. What's one piece of advice you would give girls who feel like they're spiritually behind or they're not getting the same things that all the other girls seem to be getting?
When they go to seminary,
Yeah, in seminary.
I would remind them that you're not becoming religious, you're becoming whole. Okay? The purpose of seminary is to mold you into an image. It's not to mold you into an image. It's to help you build an inner relationship with Torah, with Hashem, and with yourself that you can carry into real life. So when you see things going on around you, when you feel pressures, it's not about needing to be like everybody else, and it's not about needing to look like everybody else, and it's not about needing to sound like everybody else and learn like everybody else. It's about finding that inner voice, finding that inner peace of who you are, connecting to it, feeling whole, connecting to something larger, to a community that's larger, to a religion that's larger, to God, and to yourself. That
I
is
feel
what
like a lot
seminary is
of
about.
girls also, they have this image of seminary that they don't want to go because they feel like they're gonna get brainwashed. But I
I
think that's
know.
really, but I think that's really like you're not getting brainwashed because everyone
No.
that's going is enjoying it and they're learning, and
You're on your
that's
own
just
journey
exactly
too.
that's just what
But I argue two things. Number one, if you if you want to grow, then that's the place to do it,
exactly.
right? And the flip side is if you want to divorce yourself from everything that you grew up with and you don't want to have anything to do with it, or you don't want to grow, or that's not something that's interesting to you, at least be an informed consumer. At least know what you don't want to do,
Exactly.
as opposed to just saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to be religious. I don't feel it." That's not a thing. Like nobody respects that. At least know it. Learn the materials, learn the sources, have the conversations, push back, argue, fight it. And if you still feel that way, at least you're an informed consumer and you know why you're doing what you're doing, as opposed to just like tapping out and dipping and then and like That's not meaning no, I don't think people view that as noteworthy or a valuable response. You left because you were lazy. Okay. Okay. That's not impressive.
Right.
But if you really don't feel it after you learn it, that's a separate conversation. So both things are true, meaning seminary and yeshiva work for everybody on both sides. So you're an informed consumer no matter what you do, but that is important. People respect that.
So it's just a matter of how you want to take your seminary
Of
or
course, 100%. But certainly at the very least, you have an opportunity where you're not under your parents' thumb,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you have the opportunity to explore and experiment and ask questions and do things. And you're an adult finally with that. It's within a structure, but you have the ability to grow as an individual. Individual growth is something that cuts across all demographics and all religions. You need that.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do things to explore and understand who you are as a person. And that doesn't make a difference if you're Jewish or Muslim or Christian. Who cares? That's not the piece that should be holding you back from it.
Mhm.
But learning how to be an individual is super important.
what are a few
100%.
tips you could tell some people who are trying to learn themselves better? What could they do?
Asking the questions. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And whatever seminary you go to, you need to make sure that it's a safe space to be able to push.
Mhm.
That's something that I pride myself on what my vision is for Midrash and Ora is a place where I want people to ask questions and I want them to ask the hard questions. That's important. It's important to me. I'm not scared of it. I'm not scared of those questions.
Yeah.
I embrace those questions.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and it's being honest. If you're not going to be honest with yourself, then it just creates it's just an exercise in futility then. Meaning you need to be honest with yourself. When things are confusing to you, be honest about what's confusing. When things are difficult, be honest about what's difficult. Honesty is so, so essential to growth. And making sure also that part of the process is learning what your value set is. I
Very,
spoke about this a little bit when I presented,
yeah.
but understanding that coming from a place of I make decisions because it's in concert with my value set is super, super important. Value-based decision making creates confidence, creates resilience, creates a sense of self, an understanding of self-worth, an understanding of who you are as a person. The reason why there are cliques is because of the fact that people are insecure. They don't understand themselves. They lack the confidence. And most of that comes from validation-based behavior. I care so much about what other people think that I
Exactly.
forget about what's important to me.
It's so external.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, but that's the world that we live in.
Hmm.
What are three values that you would say that you live by?
MS, non-judgmental towards
100.
people, and
Hmm.
What they ask you in some interviews, by the
Do
way.
they?
is that
Be
true?
like
I didn't
three,
ask that.
Told
three
that.
words to describe yourself. So
Oh no, that's different. These are
What did
like
I say?
yeah,
MS
but
is something I
it's
live
so
by, not
everything
being
else.
non-judgmental, and
respect, maybe.
stump me. I
Okay.
mean, is God a value? I don't know if God is a value.
That's
I feel
something
like
that
God
you
is a
stand by, like
foundation.
with life, like God's by
There you
your
go.
side, belief in
Not
God.
sure. What are your three values? What are your three?
Mine are loyalty,
Okay, I like
respect,
that. Good.
and
Third one's a killer. How about you?
Mine is emunah. That's a
Okay.
value.
Okay.
No. My
It's like
God.
the hardest question ever.
yeah, wait.
Honesty.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
And I think I don't know if this is a value. It's more of like something that's it's something that's important to me. Just growth,
Sure.
being growth oriented.
Yeah, growth.
Love that.
Value.
I
Yeah.
can get behind that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that one also. Okay, amazing.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
Oh,
Really, really awesome.
On our podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, amazing. And I hope our paths cross again soon.
Bizrat Hashem.
Okay,
you.
amazing. Guys, have a great day.
Bye, you
Bye.
too.
Thank you too.
Bye. Thank
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And let us know if you have any questions or comments or ideas for our next podcast topic. We love you.
Mwah.
It's not fun, I've got school.
Damn.
Yeah.